Hello, everybody. My name's Jim, and this is the Mid-Year Book Freakout Tag. I'm not freaking out yet, but it's only half a year. We still have another half to go, so I might be freaking out by December, but we'll get there when we get there. First of all, I do want to thank everybody for taking part in this little journey on BookTube. For me, I've been on YouTube for a long time, but I have only been on BookTube for half a year. So I really appreciate you guys watching my videos and liking my content. And if there's anything that you like specifically, I would really like to know so that I can hone in on that and focus on producing as many of that type of video as I can. I am open to all suggestions, but for this video, we need to focus on the tag prompts. The best book that I've read in 2023, this was a hard choice because I've read a few really good books this year. Most of them are memoirs, but I think my favorite of those is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. Just the way it was written, the humor that was added to offset the darker content was just really well done, and I do hope that Jeanette McCurdy continues to write because her memoir was amazing. The best sequel that I read in 2023 is a bit of a default because Soul of the Deep is the only sequel that I've read so far in 2023 by Natasha Bowen, but that's not to say that it wasn't great. I gave it 5 stars. It was a great read. So it wasn't a pity default. It's default, but it's also good. A new release that I haven't read yet is Big Gay Wedding by Byron Lane. I still have to get to that. It was released at the end of May. I have it, but I haven't cracked it open yet. We'll see if I get to it this year. The most anticipated release of 2023. I have 5 here because I am bad at predicting what I will and will not like. So hopefully if I have a list of 5, at least one of them will be a 4 or 5 star read. I have Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter, The Trap by Catherine Ryan Howard, The Woods Are Waiting by Catherine Green, which I believe is her debut. I might be wrong. Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. I'm currently reading Legends and Lattes now. This is the prequel to that. And finally, What Kind of Mother by Clay McLeod Chapman. The biggest disappointment of this year, I hate to do this to a debut, but Tanya Tanya by Antara Ganguly was my biggest disappointment. And it wasn't so much the way it was written. It was that I was expecting more historical fiction, and I didn't really get what I expected. People do like this book, though. If you pick it up, you may enjoy it. It just ended up lacking some of the things that I wanted at the time. The biggest surprise this year, and you're going to hear this book come up a lot in this video, is Going Under by Sonia Henry. Did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. This was part of a challenge, and those you don't know what you're going to get with those types of books, so I was not expecting to really enjoy it, but it is such an important read. It's why I uploaded the character analysis for this book, because I think its message is important for people to hear. New favorite author. It's not a debut author, but he's new to me. Frederick Bachman is definitely an author that I'm going to continue to pick up. I love his writing. I love his character focus. And yeah, newest fictional crush. So, I'm not the type to really crush on characters. Newest favorite character. I'm going to say Winnie from Going Under, just because she is that best friend that everybody wants in their life. I certainly have Winnies in my life, and so I'm happy that she was so well written and so available to Kitty in Going Under. But also I'm going to say Stacy from the Cotton Candy Massacre. This was a surprise because Stacy is a child, and I don't usually like children, especially not in books and movies, because they have a tendency to be really annoying. She was a bit annoying, but her relationship with her brother was great. It was really the only relationship that I cared about. Book that made me cry. We should put a little parentheses S after book. So a few of them made me tear up, but the ones that made me actually cry, like the ones that actually made the tears fall, are Going Under by Sonia Henry, and also the book And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Frederick Bachman. I read that this month, and about 70 to 75% of that book was me either on the cusp of tears or actually crying. So, yeah, you're going to hear more about that book during my June wrap up, but those are the two. Books that made me happy. I'm going to talk about the children's books this time. Different, A Great Thing to Be by Heather Avis. Just a cute, colorful book that spreads a very important message. Same with Red, A Crayon Story by Michael Hall. And also The Love Bug by Disney, even though I'm still sure that there is a person behind that book and it's not just the Disney Corporation. But The Love Bug was nostalgic. I enjoyed reading it. I love Herbie. Just a cute book. There are a couple of prompts that I'm not going to answer. Favorite book to movie adaptation and favorite post you've written this year. I don't have an answer to that, but I guess it's worth noting that I do have a Goodreads page if you want to see and follow me and read some of the reviews that I've given in written form, as well as some reviews for books that I have not put on YouTube yet. The most beautiful book I bought this year. I'm also going to include Borrowed, just, because there is one that I thought was very beautiful that I borrowed this year. It's my video. I'm breaking the rules. But I'm so worried to say because I don't want to give credit to AI, an AI cover that's, I would much rather credit artists. So I have 3 options here just in case any of them were produced by AI. We Are All So Good at Smiling by Amber McBride. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the colors. I love the typography on it. Soul of the Deep by Natasha Bowen. At first, I wasn't as big a fan of this cover as I was Skin of the Sea, but when I got it in person and I was holding it, it is so pretty. The online images of this book cover does not do it justice, especially not the one that I was going by when I initially pre-ordered this book, because it was small and blurry and I was like, ugh. But no, it's very pretty. And finally, Lift by Kelly Corrigan. The simplicity of it, just the butterfly, the color green, the texture of the background behind the butterfly is just very beautiful. I wanted to give this a shout out because I think it's important for us to notice the simpler covers, the ones that aren't so busy or so dynamic. I think that they deserve to be recognized as beautiful too. And this one is just a great example of that. Books to read by year end. I have a list. I really hope to get to these because I am just in the mood to read these 8 books. The last 3, I think I could save until 2024, but at least the first 5 I really want to get through this year. Don't Let Go by Harlan Coben is the only book in my challenge that I have not even cracked open yet. I'm currently reading The Red Tent, and I hope to read that this month. But Don't Let Go by Harlan Coben is next in line, and it's the last one, so I need to read it by this year in order to complete my challenge. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I'm going to read this in July. Big Gay Wedding by Byron Lane. Again, it was released in May. I haven't gotten around to it, but I really want to this year. The Color Purple by Alice Walker. I want to read this year because there is a remake of the movie coming out in December, and I want to make sure that I read the book before I see either the original movie or the new one. The Passion by Jeanette Winterson. I have been suddenly drawn in by this author. I like her personality. I relate to her background and her identity, so I want to read The Passion. It is a short book, and it has a Venetian mask on the cover, which is one of my favorite aesthetics. So I hope I like her. I hope I like her writing so that she can become another favorite author, so that if I do this in December, I can say her. In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. It's been on my not TBR for a long time, and I hope to get to it. I saw a review of this by Dusty Book Sniffers, Nicole, on her channel, and I left a comment that it was a book that I need to read, and she gave it a rave review, so I hope to get to it soon. If not this year, then next year. There by Tommy Orange is a book that was recently put on my radar. I need to read more books written by Native Americans and about Native American heritage, and this book is highly acclaimed, and it just seems like a good read. And finally, The Light Between Oceans by M.L. Stedman. I think this was her debut. This is just one that's been on my radar for a while as well, and I would really like to get to it as soon as possible. But yeah, that is my mid-year freakout tag. Again, I'm not freaking out yet, but we still have a lot of year to go. So check on me in December. We will see what I think then. But until then, I've been Jim. You've been great. Happy reading.